Welcome to my YouTube channel, guys. Today I'll be talking about Mutahi Ngunyi, the famous political analyst who has been in the limelight for the past few days. Now, Professor Mutahi Ngunyi made revelations about his interaction with the former President Uhuru Kenyatta during the previous administration, whereby he worked closely with President Uhuru Kenyatta during his time in office. So Mutahi Ngunyi has now revealed what happened during the 2022 general election. Now, Mutahi Ngunyi is a popular political analyst in the country. He is most famous for coming up with the term the tyranny of numbers during the 2013 general election, whereby he was a close ally of the Jubilee Party. He was very close to President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto. And Mutahi Ngunyi, until the 2022 general election, worked closely with Uhuru Kenyatta at State House. So he reveals the mistreatment that President William Ruto went through during Uhuru's time in office, especially after the handshake, that is between 2018 and 2022. Mutahi Ngunyi reveals that William Ruto was sidelined in government, his roles were taken up, and he was often demeaned during his visits to State House. He was even that President William Ruto, then Deputy President, was forced to use the washrooms just like other staff at State House. Now, this was meant to disrespect him and show that he was nothing. Yes. So Mutahi Ngunyi also revealed that he advised the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga that the only way he was to win the general election was to ensure that the deep state would work for him. He says that he warned Raila Odinga severally, including the tallying of the votes was ongoing. He told Raila Odinga that the deep state was deeply incompetent. Now, the deep state during President Uhuru Kenyatta's time was composed of the Interior Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Fred Matiang'i. We had the Interior Principal Secretary, Karanja Kibicho, and other top security officials like the Inspector General of Police. So Mutahi Ngunyi reveals that he even went to former President Uhuru Kenyatta and told him that if he does not go personally to the ground to campaign for Raila Odinga in Mount Kenya, then Odinga will lose the election. Also, he warned Uhuru Kenyatta that the deep state was incompetent and was not capable of helping Raila Odinga to get power. Mutahi Ngunyi has revealed that he's the one who started the hustler narrative. He reveals that he told President William Ruto that the best way for him to become president in 2022 was to create the hustler versus dynasty narrative. Now, this narrative, of course, we know that Raila Odinga comes from a very big political family. His father, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, served as the first vice president of Kenya. That was between 1964 up to 1969. So Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was a known political figure in the country. He was a respected leader. And after his death in 1994, that was when his son, Raila Odinga, took up from him and became the kingpin of the Luo community. So many people view Raila Odinga as a dynasty, owing to the fact that his father was a rich and famous politician in the country. Also, former President Uhuru Kenyatta is viewed by many people as a dynasty. His father, Jomo Kenyatta, served as the first president of Kenya between 1964 up to his death in 1978. So Mutahi Ngunyi says that the only way to change the narrative in Kenya, which for many years has been an ethnic narrative, whereby during election members of a particular tribe tend to align with a leader who comes from their own ethnic community. So Mutahi Ngunyi advised William Ruto that the only way for him to get to power was to now change it to a class narrative, whereby the elections will be seen as being between the rich and the poor. So Mutahi Ngunyi says that when Uhuru Kenyatta got this information, he was very angry. He in fact told him to stop it, and some of his bank accounts were even frozen at the time. So Mutahi Ngunyi says that he had to comply and now started supporting Raila Odinga. Mutahi Ngunyi was an insider during the Uhuru Kenyatta administration. Mutahi Ngunyi reveals that he worked at State House, and he never discussed politics with Uhuru Kenyatta. In fact, he reveals that during his time there, it was only on 2 occasions that he discussed politics with the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. And it was when he was giving advice to Uhuru Kenyatta about the best way for them to win in 2022. So Mutahi Ngunyi has said that he made a phone call to the current president, William Ruto. So they had a lengthy discussion over the phone, whereby Mutahi Ngunyi apologized to President William Ruto for his remarks during the campaign period. Now, Mutahi Ngunyi has a YouTube channel whereby he has been posting videos, and during the campaign season, he was very critical of President William Ruto and his UDA party. So Mutahi Ngunyi would post videos criticizing William Ruto, saying how Ruto cannot become president, and this went on for many months. So Mutahi Ngunyi reveals that he apologized to President William Ruto and says that he did that just because he was being forced by his boss then, who is the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. So Mutahi Ngunyi has made it clear that he will be willing to work together with the current administration led by President William Samoei Ruto. He reveals that he is a patriotic Kenyan whose aim is to serve the government and people of Kenya and to ensure that Kenya becomes a developed country. And he's ready to serve any president, provided that the interests of the Kenyans are addressed. So this move by Mutahi Ngunyi has been seen by many Kenyans just as a plan for him to get a government job in the current administration. Many political analysts, for example, Professor Herman Manyora, has criticized Mutahi Ngunyi for being an opportunist. They say that it is very disrespectful that you start backbiting your former boss just because you're looking for a new employment opportunity. That it's a very bad character that somebody of Mutahi Ngunyi's stature should not be engaging in. Others have said that it's just a plan for him to ditch Azimio and enter Kenya Kwanza so that he may be able to land a job in the new administration. So it remains to be seen if President William Ruto will be convinced and give Mutahi Ngunyi a job in his government. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share,